Morning all. Okay, I want to start this, I want to kick this off by that's bed you can see in the background, and behind the white flower pot is storms. You'll see them floating around in the videos. It's about 8 a.m. on a Tuesday morning here. I'm just having a cuppa, then I'm going to head off to the gym. So, you know, no perfect looks here, guys. It's not what you're going to get on my videos. Is faces full of makeup, hair done. No, this is just another day in the life of life. So, lovelies, for many of us, we are navigating the age of our 40s, 50s, and we're probably finding that it's a little bit windy for your tripod to stay at the right angle, so I have to hold it. We're navigating a lot of things that are probably going to overload us. What I want to do, I want to say, I hear you guys. I see a lot of you on social media that are, I think, looking for a connection. Yeah, and you're not alone. We want to know that we're not alone. We're herdy people, right? We like society, we like community. And I just wanted to really say that I hear and see these people. They don't see or hear me. That doesn't matter. It just matters that there's others out there that are experiencing some of the things in which we are. My primary thing right now, I have a number of them, I'm sure you all do, or we all do, is I have just begun navigating the onset into permanent residential care for my mum, who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And I'll come to that story another time. I think also the onset of diabetes, celiac, and just now getting really close to that point where she can actually no longer live independently. And when I say independently, in my eyes, that's like she's not in an aged care or a care community. They're no longer actually called nursing homes, they're called care communities. And they call it that for a number of reasons. Anyway, so I sometimes feel like maybe I've been a little bit too early with entering mum into aged care, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be the only person who thinks that. The thing is, I've had my mum on a waiting list for a year and a half now. Once she moved up to Perth from the country, and I realised what was going on. I wasn't aware of what was going on, and it was a huge slap in the face of reality when I realised something wasn't right. Anyway, that's not the story today. The story, this is hard stuff. I'm a very emotionally resilient person, been through a lot in my life. I'm sure many of us have. And I've still managed to navigate my life without losing my ever-loving marbles. Some days I wonder how that actually happened. However, I've got to say, this last 3 weeks in particular has probably been the most difficult. To give you some perspective, I've been through cancer, not once, but twice. I think this aged care stuff is even harder, okay, if you can imagine that. I think we'll start to have some chats about some of the things that I've learnt through trial and error, because hey, look, if we can learn from each other without having to go through the error ourselves, particularly when it comes to our loved ones, is really important. Here's the first thing, the number one thing that I would say, and it came to light yesterday when I had a meeting with the clinical nurse for the care community, lovely lady by the way, and we were talking about some of the issues that have been cropping up for mum, and it led me to realise that these issues that are coming up that they're not actually paying attention to because they don't know actually stem from her childhood trauma. And this is something that's really come home for me in the last 3 years. And your mum went through a bit as a young person, but I was never aware of the degree of trauma that it left her with, and that has really come to light for me in the last 3 years, and very much so in the last 3 weeks. And I'll delve into that a bit more in due course. So, we as the advocates for our parents, as they are not able to advocate for themselves as they once would have, it is important for us to think about how the things in their past are affecting them in the now. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. I'm going to head off to the gym. I just wanted to put some thoughts and some words out there and just sort of start something somewhere. I would have loved to have done a really great welcome video and all that kind of stuff, but honestly, like, if you've got time, you're a better person than I am. Here's what it is, warts and all. Let's have a discussion. Tell me what's on your mind today.